Okay, so the video just crashed out of nowhere. We're back, but I have my thoughts more collected, right? So there was this scene in DuckTale, right? This is the ramblings of a Mad Hatter, by the way. It's kind of like a video diary. So there's a scene in DuckTale where this character was like, I'm gonna create the most powerful biological weapon ever. So they led me to thinking. I'm probably gonna speed up a little bit what I'm saying, but it doesn't matter. It got me to thinking, why is Earth so important? Why are humans so important? Why is the physical realm so important? And that's because it's all part of a alchemical process. The higher realms aren't higher because they're more pure. They're higher because they're more innocent. They are the dream before the dream actually started to dream. They're the crust. They're the outside, right? What if we have it reversed? Higher, the point of coming down here isn't to go higher, it's to be down here and become more potent. Because the physical realm, the lower realms, aren't lower because they're lower, because they're just uncouth. It's because it's more raw, more real, more potent. It's the dream dreaming itself in the most rawest, authentic form. Higher, meaning exterior. It's the crust of the planet. Lower, meaning more interior. It's the core of the planet. What if going lower means going deeper in the dream, meaning going more deeper within yourself? If we are a part of everything, if we are part of imagination, and the goal is to be your authentic self, your rawest, most truest, realest self, you can't do that by ascending upward again because that you become formless, you become meaningless, you just become a thing at that point. What if we have it reversed? We think going up, meaning we think to come down here is to remember in reverse, to go back up and to gain all your power, wisdom again, and to become everything. Everything. If that was the goal, then none of this would be real. It's not just about experiencing your deepest self. It's about becoming something so real, so potent that you're inevitable. You're undeniable, right? You're not just spread out. You're not just because when you're spread out, you're innocent. We think being innocent is one thing. Oh, it's being born into a world and you're just new again. No, that's not being innocent. It's actually being ignorant. If you don't have any character or substance, the higher you go up, the less substance you become. There's a reason why beings come down here. It's to gain sustenance, power. The reason why you can accelerate your spiritual evolution is because you're understanding the game. You're understanding the dream in its more potent, realist, authentic form, right? You're not just imaginary at that point. You become something that's potent, right? What if, because you can evolve just being imaginary, just being dreamy, just being high vibes, right? What would be the purpose of any of this existing? Because I was like, why does the physical realm even exist? Why do lower realms even exist if the goal is to just go back up and to become spread out again and imaginary? Because that was never the true goal. Yes, that's a goal and it's valid and you can gain from that. But what would be the purpose of this physical realm, of lower, denser realms? Because denser doesn't mean lower, it doesn't mean less, it means more potent. So focus, it becomes dense. Go back to my video of Hakati and Sorcerer Twins. I'll talk about a little bit there. Talk about this video where I have the true source and a video where I talked about true imagination, which is the void. I talk about that because that'll help you understand these videos too, right? Is my audio recording? Audio. Hello? Okay. It helps you understand this too, right? Oh, you become, like I said, what if we have it reversed? Because isn't doesn't it sound crazy to go to gain power, you gotta go deeper in the dream? It's because, and also, why do so many spiritual teachings teach us to just disassociate from the physical realm? To just, the goal is to go up. What if the goal isn't to go up? Because there is no up. What if the goal is to become more within? Each at the same time, those teachings teach you to go more within, right? What if you go more within, you gain the most power? They teach that, right? We understand this basic law. So if going down in the dream, meaning going to denser realms, becoming more physical, what if going down equals, what if that means going deeper within the dream, going more inward? And if your power is more inward and nothing's outside of you, but what you project, then why would the goal be, then why would the goal be to just go back up and to just what? Become everything again? Which going up equals the crust. It means going without, right? It means extending outward when you go with up. Because if there's no up and there's no down, there's only inward and outward. The outward would be form, before potency. It will be the form of yourself in your most innocent slash ignorant self. Not ignorant as in bad, but ignorant as clueless. You are just formless. You are nothing special. You are nothing. You're just there, right? And what would be the point of evolving, of understanding yourself if that was the case, right? If you wish to just to be physical again. Oh, I'll come down here just to understand some things and then go back up to be non-physical. No. What if that was never the goal? What if the goal was to not just bring that down here, but to bridge a certain gap, becoming the Avatar essentially from Avatar: Last Airbender. What if it's to bridge a gap? Because what is the point of coming down here? Okay, I'm down here. I'm learning. I'm evolving. Now let's escape it. Let's go back up. What have you learned at that point? Oh, it's hard down there. Yeah, that's my story. Now I'm one with everything. But then why do you still have an identity? Why do you still try to have an identity? Try to have a form? And then if you go on and say, I'm nothing, I'm formless, then what's the point of you even coming down here then if your goal was to be formless again? It contradicts itself, it cancels itself out because there's more to that, y'all. That's what I was getting, right? Like I said, these are ramblings of a Mad Hatter. These are just my little theories, my ideas, right? My imagination. That's how it works. So there's more to it. It isn't, you don't get your power from going outside yourself. You get your power going with inside yourself. And if going down in the dream, denser, going into denser realms, into lower realms, if that means becoming more inward focused, more inward, more deeper inside the dream, then that's where your power comes from. That is where the truest imaginary void, imaginary dream comes from. And then I got to thinking, um, sorry, my ear's itching. Then I got to thinking, why is biology so important? Why is the physical realm so important? Why is Earth so important? It's because those are alchemical components for the void. The void, aka the truest dreamer, the truest dream, is trying to create its own philosopher's stone. Do you understand? But for you to do that, you have to dip down. Let me show you this video real quick. Probably should mute my mic, but I think we're fine. Come on, Star. Come on, video.
You're doing.
What am I doing?
This is just another one of your games. Oh, you're going out of your way to make me get to this on my own. Oh, you.
Sorry, y'all. My computer's laggy as fuck. Um, so Star, so Star has to dip down. Go watch this. A great show. Star versus Force of Evil. She's getting her magic, right? Magic isn't light. Y'all have to understand that. Yes, magic flows through everything. So, of course, it flows through light. But magic isn't light. Magic is beyond darkness and light, right? Here's real quick a little cosmology that I saw in my imagination. So, magic, right? You have magic and you have chaos. Those elements, I like to call them conjoint twins. They overlap heavily over each other, but they're still a little different. They play with imagination a little bit differently, but both are needed for imagination to be imagination, right? So you have magic and chaos. And then below that, you would have darkness and light, right? Because for you to have darkness and light, you need to have an imagination. And what is imagination fueled by? Chaos and magic, right? Those are androgynous forces. For you to have any other force representing anything, you start with androgyny. Everything comes from androgyny. Magic and chaos are androgynous. In the seven deadly sins, the most feared force wasn't darkness, demons, wasn't light, the goddess clan, right? And in seven deadly sins, you have the demon clan and the goddess clan. The goddess clan is light, the demon clan is darkness. They are the highest form, most powerful forms in seven deadly sins. But there's a form of force that even the goddess, aka light, the demons, aka darkness clan, there's a force they even fear, but they even try to conceal, and that's chaos, the third form, right? Because chaos is beyond light, which is a singular form, darkness, which is a singular form, right? Even in its purest form, it's still singular. There's a force beyond that. And keep in mind, y'all gotta get out of your human perceptives. Beyond doesn't mean better, it means more raw, more real, more potent. Magic and chaos are androgynous, so they can't be identified as this. They're all of it, right? They are literally why imagination is imagination, right? It's like a cosmic fusion. You can't be imagination without the other. Imagination isn't above magic and chaos. It is magic and chaos. So you have magic and chaos, which, when fused together, forms imagination, which is androgynous by nature. And then from that androgyny comes androgyny darkness and androgyny light. And then you start to have more structured feminine darkness and feminine light, or feminine light and or masculine light and feminine darkness. Then you start to have structure, right? So star, like I told y'all, to go denser in the dream is to simply just to go more within yourself. And every teaching tells you your power is inside, not outside of you. That's the illusion. Because outside the external world is the highest dream. Remember when I told y'all the higher realms aren't higher because they're more true, more potent. They're higher because they're the crust of everything. They're the crust of the planet, right? Let's equate it to the planet real quick. So let's say the higher realms are the exact same thing as saying the crust of the planet. So the higher realms are the crust of the planet, which is beautiful, but it's innocent, it's ignorant. The core of the planet would be the denser dream, right? So the denser part of the dream, the more physical part of the dream, is the core of the planet. That's where all the life is. Think about it. The outside of the planet, you see it as big, there's a lot of surface, right? But it's frivolous, right? It's still innocent, it's loose, it's airy, it's fairy, it's flowy, it's just there, right? The higher realms, they're formless, they're not really anything special. So they really don't give any life. There's no character, there's no depth. But when you go deeper in the dream, which is the core of the planet, that's the depth. Notice how the core of the planet is smaller than the actual planet it is, right? But because the reason why is because when you create something so raw, so real, so pure, so true, it becomes dense down. Go back to my videos where I talk about Hekate and Sorcerer Twins. The dream is imaginary. The void is imaginary, just as it is dreaming. The true source and true imagination. In those videos, I talk about this. How the deeper you go, the denser you become, the more raw, the more real, the more authentic you are. That's where the power really is. And the power isn't just, oh, I have magic, oh, I have dominion. No, it's beyond imagination itself. It's beyond your basic understandings of power. It's becoming so raw, so real. You're undeniable by nature. You are law, right? Look at this real quick.
No, I get what you're doing.
What am I doing?
This is just another one of your games. Oh, you're going out of your way to make me get to this on my own. Oh, you didn't think I'd catch on, Glossric, because you think I'm a skimmer. But I am a dipper.
Star, what are you doing?
I'm getting us out of here.
Star, no! It's boiling!
Dip. Down!
Pause. So you saw that. Star got her power because she dipped down, right? We understand that's where all the power is. And I'm gonna show you this clip real quick too, because it's valid. Um, your authenticity, you connecting to your magical child, you allowing yourself to be imaginary, you having unconditional, absolute unconditional love and compassion, you becoming human, physical, and being of the earth. Your bloodlines, your blood, um, your biology, those are the alchemical process for the imaginary void to become solidified in everything. This goes beyond the void having an identity crisis. This goes beyond the void just wanting to experience itself. The void is a crazy person, just like we all are, right? The void is just as mad as I am, right? I'll probably say even madder. These are all the alchemical process to create the philosopher's stone. And what is that? It's to become hyperhuman. It's to become hyper imaginary, hyper phantasmal. These are the words that I made up, by the way. It's to become hyper, more beyond yourself than what you already can imagine. This goes beyond hype. This goes beyond imagination. I call it hyper imagination. It's something beyond imagination itself. Something beyond true imagination itself. What is that? We don't know yet. I like to call it, like I said, I call it hyperhumanism, hyper imagination, hyper fantasia, hyper phantasmal, becoming the hyper phantasmal human, the hyper phantasmal dream. You get it. Hyper phantasmal imagination. The truest dreamer, aka the void, is trying to become something it has never even imagined. But for you to do that, you need certain conditions. So certain they are beyond specific. You can't just embody that. You can't just understand it. You really have to go beyond it to really grasp what the void is doing, right? Because these conditions, you have to go hyper beyond these conditions because they're so specific, so delicate, like a dandelion, a dandy flower, so delicate that the slightest, and I mean even the slightest, you look at it wrong, the whole thing is in shambles. You understand what I'm saying? You even think about it, the whole thing is in shambles. How do you create then? You need something so specific. But to become so specific, you need to be what? Potent. You can't be specific. You can't be the right formula. You can't have the right conditions if you're too imaginary, if you're too dreamy, if you're too high vibes. If you are on the highest realm, you can't become what the void is trying to create because then you're too broad. We don't need broad. We need specific. So specific, it's dense, it's potent, it's raw, it's authentic, it hurts. It's just dense, girl. It's profound. For you to do that, you have to go within yourself because there is no up, down, left, or right. There is only inward and outward, to and fro, right? So, and for you to do that, once again, it has to be inside yourself. So I was thinking, why is biology so important? If we're supposed to come down here just to go back up, it's because we're not supposed to remember. We're not supposed to remember in reverse. We're supposed to re remember in reverse at the same time, become something else. At the exact same time, become something more than re remembering in reverse. If that makes sense. We're supposed to dig down so deep so we can unlock magic beyond magic, imagination beyond imagination, dream beyond dream, hyperhumanism, hyperrealism. What if the dream is trying to become organic, is trying to become physical? Because physical, organic equals authentic, the most raw, the most real, the most potent. And as we know, if we're using the basic model of the earth, the core is the purest, most truest, most rawest, most authentic form of the wait. The earth's core is the truest, most rawest, most realist, most authentic form of itself. Because without that, there is nothing. And then you're back at square one. What if the void isn't trying to become nothing? It's trying to become something so potent it goes beyond nothingness itself. It goes beyond becoming something itself. What if that's the void's alchemical process? But for you to do that, it needs to be biological because then it's back at square one. How can something truly understand itself if it can't become more than itself? Can you really sit with yourself and imagine the void becoming truly biological? What could that mean? Not just becoming pure magic, not just becoming pure imagination or true imagination, because then you're back at square one. How can I go beyond myself? The only way to do that is to go more within yourself, to keep going deeper and deeper. Like it's like shadow alchemy, shadow healing. Y'all know when y'all healing y'all traumas. For you to heal your trauma, what do you have to do? Keep going deep within yourself. Keep finding why, how, till you get to the ultimate question, till you get to the ultimate answer, and become something beyond both of those, while still having those contradictions. To go beyond the contradiction itself, to go so beyond, to go to go so beyond the contradiction, the paradox itself, you become so simple. You become the most truest form of innocence, the truest form of authenticity, the truest form of power, the truest form of understanding, the truest form of a question, the truest form of human, the truest form of the physical. Because human, physicality, and earth are saying the exact same things to each other, y'all. They're not separate. They are. This is why, because I was questioning yesterday, how are humans destined to inherit the earth if other beings live on the earth? And I think because I was kind of looking at it wrong, was because humans, the earth, and the physical realm are the same thing trying to express itself. And that's becoming the organic dream, the organic imaginary void. Hyper organic humanism, hyperhumanism. Being a human isn't just a human, isn't just an alien being. It's something beyond a god. It's beyond a concept. Humans are chimeras. I told y'all, my soul origin is a chimera. I'm a chimera being. But how I was at my highest is not the same as I am now. And that's the point. You're not supposed to be the same because we're not trying to be the same because that defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to be, what I'm trying to accomplish, right? What if, because lately I've been feeling like I've been fusing or there's a gap that's been closing, right? What if being a chimera on the highest realm? I was born a chimera, y'all. That's what I'm trying to say. That's my soul origin, my origin story, my origin point. What if I was, what if it took that and then being a human and fusing those together? Because being a chimera on the highest realm is not the same as being a chimera on the denser realm, which is a human. A human is literally a chimera. So you fuse those together, but that's not enough either. You need the experience, you need the depth, you need the character. You also need the imagination. You need the magical child. You need the blood. You need the biology. You need the physical matter, the physical dream. What if physicality is actually physical? You know how we say everything is light, nothing is physical. But what if that's the goal? Is for everything is to have a part so potent. It is physical. You look at the atoms, it's physical atoms. It isn't air, it isn't just space, it isn't light, it isn't dreamy. It's actually physical. But that will look something entirely different than the physical we know now, than the physical we understand now. I had shown this scene before the video started acting crazy and deleted itself, but I don't think I even need it because there's a scene. Go watch the scene. By the way, it starts at 15:37. Um, Shout out to Comic Explain. I love that motherfucker. I'm not subscribed to him on this account, but I do have an account, several other accounts that I'm subscribed to him on that I watch him on because I watch different stuff over here. But this asshole, um, Hakate is in this scene, and Cersei asks Hakate why create, because Wonder Woman in this scene is completely different. She was born and raised in hell. Cersei raised her, and of course they're connected to Hakate, right? Hakate's everywhere. Hakate is source. It's mommy. Cersei asks Hakate why create a being that's so, why create a little girl that's so compassionate, so loving, that she can literally feel every arrow. She can feel everybody's pain. And Cersei essentially said, because monsters don't understand her. She's a little girl because it goes beyond her being a girl. She's a child because they're unseen. She's compassionate and full of love because monsters, aka, and this is code, y'all. I'm using what they're saying in this as code for monsters, aka higher beings, right? Don't understand her. They don't understand what it means to be physical because they're too imaginary, they're too dreamy, they're too expanded, they're too innocent, aka ignorant. They don't understand it, right? Being being physical, having that and becoming physical, being imaginary and then becoming physical and then combining those two and then even going beyond that is something truly unimaginary. Hakate in this even said that we couldn't imagine, even the gods couldn't imagine creating such a being such as her, right? Because this is beyond gods. This is beyond imagination itself. This goes beyond the void itself. That's why. Not because they're stupid, but because this is so potent, so raw, so real. How can something like this even exist as a physical being, as a mortal, as something we just can't comprehend? How can this actually be allowed to exist type shit? How can this actually be? Look, what is really happening here? And I really do think that humans are the philosopher's stone to an even greater question. They are a necessary component. Because I was asking, why are humans important? It's not because they're important, just because they're designed from uh they had their genetic code. It's not because humans aren't important just because they have 12-strand DNA. They aren't important because they have connections to multiple star beings. They're important because they're crucial. They are a crucial as they are in a crucial aspect, a crucial chemical component, alchemical component to creating the Philosopher's Stone. Y'all, this is insane. This is truly insane. And I love it. It's mad. We're all mad here. And I feel like somewhere along the line, the void, aka the truest dream, the truest imaginary dream, wanted to be more than itself. And of course, there's more to this why I came to this conclusion because I started asking about myself. I guess I can add that real quick to the video. Just like give me like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, little more minutes. Okay, give me a few minutes and I'll just explain. Because I kept saying like, yo, I don't feel human, but I feel so human at the same time. I'm not connected. I'm not attached to the stories of humanity. I'm not even attached to my ancestors. I'm not attached to my demon witch side. I'm not attached to any of my cosmic family in the same way that most people are, right? That most higher and lower beings are. I'm not attached to anything, right? Oh my god, is it my mouse doing that? It is. I'm not attached to any of that, right? And this goes back to me being a void child and me being a chimera, but so much more than that. It's like those stories, because I've been watching Astro Legends, right? A YouTuber, Astro Legends, talking about Enoch and just talking about the galactic history and galactic species and all that stuff. I'm like, I find it so beautiful that other beings can feel a connection to that, an attachment to that. Because attachment isn't bad. It is sacred. It's just everything is so inverted, y'all. Everything's everything. Everything's convoluted. Everything's backwards. Is it backwards or is it right side up? Is right side up actually wrong? Who knows? But I love that for people. But I don't feel like I have a family. I don't have a connection. I don't have nothing, right? And it's not me being a martyr. It's not me being a nihilist. No, it's me being authentic. Because I'm like, I love everything. I love everyone. I have such deep, profound emotions and connections to everything, but I don't feel attached to it. Why does it feel like a higher form of me and a lower form of me is starting to like overlap? Why don't I feel connected to my highest self? I am connected to my highest self, but that's not me. I'm me. That's not me saying, uh, that's not me saying I'm just human. I'm human. I'm not them. No, it's something more than that. I'm beyond them. I like to call I called myself an archetypal human. One of one type of thing, right? I call myself a hyper phantasmal human. That's where I got the name from earlier. I was calling myself that. And I'm like, a hyper phantasmal human. I'm more than just human, but I'm so human. Why don't I relate to anybody? Why do I feel like an unidentified loner, an unclaimed orphan? Even though I'm surrounded by so many beings, right? So much love. I don't feel that in the same way somebody else does. Like, I don't feel like I'm just Anunnaki. I don't feel like I'm just Lyran. I don't feel like I'm just this. And of course, we're all hybrids, but you get what I'm saying. Even within them, people still have a family. This isn't just me being a loner or a lone wolf. Y'all, what I'm saying is all of what I'm saying, it goes beyond anything human, anything basic, it goes beyond words, right? So do not come on here and trying to put a concept to it because there isn't any. There aren't any words to it, there aren't any experience to it. It just is. I'm just trying to use words so y'all can understand because this is the physical realm. We use words, right? But I'm not even doing what I'm saying justice. So keep that in mind. Um, yeah, it's that's where this all originated from. Because I also asked about humans. There's a reason why higher beings keep talking, and why I even had my family come to me in my dreams and tell me that I should learn biology. Why is biology so important if the goal is to be dreamy again? When the point was to just ignore biology, it doesn't matter. Wouldn't bloodlines not matter? Wouldn't blood not matter? But there's something there. And that's because the truest dreamer is trying to create its own philosopher's stone. That's its mad plan all along, right? And of course, to live and experience itself and everybody to experience. But that doesn't satisfy me to just experience stuff, to just experience life. To just, oh, I'm just experiencing myself. I'm an imaginary friend, just experiencing myself. No, that's almost lifeless to me. And I was thinking, what if me and the truest dream are the same person wanting the same exact thing, and that's why I feel so lonely. Yes, we all come from the same place, but we are all not the same. We're not forged the same. Our origin story is not the same. Every being came from the void, yes, but they're not forged the same from the void. Some beings come from Hakate, pure imaginary darkness. Some people come from pure imaginary light, what people call source. Some people come from pure imaginary chaos, primeval chaos. Some people come from beings within the dream itself, such as the creators or other alien beings, extraterrestrial beings, or other god beings, or other monsters, or other dimensions within the dream, right? But what if, oh yeah, so when I say like, I'm the void, what if your origin point, origin story is the literal exact same? What if that could be the exact same? Because I don't feel like I have a past, y'all. I know I have other selves. I know there was other parts of me that experienced selves, that experience, but that's not me. That feels more so just like a memory, more so a memory that's just made up. But being made up is still valid, y'all. It doesn't mean you're delusional if it's made up. We've understood this, right? If you've been on this channel long enough, you understand that. Because who says, if everything's imaginary, then is anything really made up? And it goes back into my dream when I told y'all I was creating imaginary beasts. I had imaginary friends. I connected to them. I still believe in Santa Claus. I still believe in Neverland. I still believe in Peter Pan. Oh, I need to tell you about my dream that I had. I'll make a video about that tomorrow, about a dream that I had about not meeting Peter Pan, but meeting something kind of like it. They call themselves the Entity or Shane. So yeah, we're going another time. But yeah, um, that's it. That's all I really want to say for now, y'all. It's crazy over here. It's really going crazy. Not even 40 minutes yet. I'm proud of myself. But yeah, I don't feel like I have a past. It's all just a made up memory. But that's valid, but that's not me. I'm me. It's like I don't have a past or a future. I just exist as a prophecy. Isn't that crazy? But I feel like because me and the void are more connected than I realize. I'm gonna have to tap into that more. But yeah, I don't know what I'm becoming, but it's wild. But yeah, because also if bloodlines and blood and being physical wasn't so important, why is it so protected and suppressed at the same time? Why do higher beings say the physical realm, Earth, humans affect everything? Why is it so important for that? Because we're not lower in the dream, we're not lesser in the dream. We are at the dream's core. That's why. We are at the dream's core. So, obviously, if the core is everything, and if it gets destroyed, so will everything else by proxy. And the void is too much inside of itself to turn back now. It's too deep within the dream to turn back now. So, yeah, that's all I want to say. Hope y'all enjoyed my mad ramblings, my mad hatter ramblings. I love y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Hello, we're back. I'm from two. No, this is way later in the day. This is me adding to what I was talking about the void real quick because I was sitting on the latrine. Right, I was sitting on the latrine, which toilets are portals. Y'all didn't know that, did y'all? But I was sitting on the portal, toilet, the portal. Um, the channeling, the channeling table. I was sitting on my channeling table, the toilet, and I wanted to add this to the video real quick. That I was like, the void. pure imagination, right? Truest dreamer, the truest dream, the bound dream, the truest imagination, void imagination, right? My oldest sibling, right? They they are everywhere. They are everything, right? Sorry, I yawned. They're everywhere. They're everything, but they're not something. They don't have a definitive story. They're not a story, right? Oh, and this is what I wanted to show y'all. Hold up. I'm sorry, y'all. I couldn't find it, and I wasn't about to go lose my hat. I wasn't about to lose my header trying to find the damn thing. But what I was saying is the void has, because I'm gonna still talk about it. I just wanted to show you a little picture of it. But the void has, um, the void has is everything, all things, nothing, but it's not something. What the? Oh, but it's not something, right? Like specifically something, right? And if you're all things and everythings, you really can't be something. And if you're nothing, you can't be something, right? And it, the image, and I'm relating it back to me because I said that I don't feel like anything either. But I would see it. The image that I guess got in my head was me walking down a sidewalk, right? And on the front of me, like me in the front of me, there's life, there's grass, there's dandelions. It's so green and vibrant and saturated. But right behind me is decay. It's the abyss. It's all of that life being erased away. So it's like I'm creating and destroying at the exact same time. I don't have a future or a past. I am the moment. I am something, right? It was like that's what I've been feeling like lately. Like I'm not anything. I'm nothing really. So I didn't mean to say something a second ago. I meant to say I'm nothing. It feels like I'm nothing. And I think that's why I've been really connecting to the void a lot more lately because I think they want to be something too, y'all. The void, aka the truest dreamer, the truest dream, the bound dream, the first imaginator, all of them. Same thing. They're the same person. I think I want to. I think there's something there, like because if pure imagination of light, aka source, which I call source, if they have an avatar, and if mommy, what some people call Hecate or pure imaginary darkness, has an avatar, does the void actually have an avatar? And to go beyond an avatar, though, this goes beyond an avatar, right? Like I mentioned earlier. Just I think it's so insane because it feels everything. It's all things, but it's not one thing. It's not all things in one thing. It's not that. Yeah, you can say, "Oh, what about us? We're part of Source. We're part of a concept. We're part of the void, whatever." Right? That's it. You're a part of it. You're not something specific. You're not all those parts in one. Not in void form, but in physical form. You're not that. You're just not that guy, kid. And what if that's the mad dream of the first dreamer? The mad dream of the first dreamer. It's that right there. They don't experience that ever. Because they big back and wide. No, because they're just spread outward. They're having multiple aspects. It was like Legion from the X-Men. You have multiple aspects of you, but you're not them. If you don't know who Legion from X-Men is, let me just show you real quick. So this is Legion from X-Men, and he has the uh, mutant ability to have any power, any mutant ability ever. But the only way he's able to do that is by creating different personas. So let's say he wanted to manifest telekinesis. He can't just do telekinesis on his own. His mutant ability requires him to manifest he can manifest anything he wants to. But I think he's healed now. I can't remember. But regardless, his story is the only way he can manifest those abilities is if he manifests a persona with him, which they will have their own personality, their own framework, their own type of emotions, truths, and understandings. He would have to create an entirely different character within himself. So this motherfucker can have over 100 different personalities trying to fight for supremacy. And some of them, there's been several times where they have tried to fight for absolute control over his body. It's so taxing. So sorry for Legion, his sexy ass. But his, his hair used to scare me. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It still kind of do to an extent. Cause look how crazy he look. Motherfucker scares me. But I like him though. He's always he look like a perpetual patient. Motherfucker, Legion ass. But so if you want telekinesis, you have to create a person for him to be able to use telekinesis. But not only that, he wouldn't be in control. The person that he created to use telekinesis would be in control temporarily. So if he wanted to access any ability, he would have to essentially shut off himself to allow his other creations to come forth. And keep in mind, they have their own state of being, their own personality, their own cosmology. So it's like you're constantly fighting for supremacy of your own body with other versions of yourself that you created that are literally not part of you no more. For real. They're just stuck inside you. But yeah, this is Legion going crazy. There was another image. Yeah, this is probably a good image. All these personalities in his head. But that's like the void, right? That's the void, y'all. It's a good picture right here. That's what the void is. All these personalities. We are all these personalities of the void, but we're not something. The void isn't something specific yet. And I think its magnum opus, its Philosopher's Stone, is wanting to be that. Hyper real. Hyper real. But hyper realistic. Hyper real. You know what I'm saying? Hyper physical, hyper human, even, right? I'm tired, y'all. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video fully now. But yeah, it's just the ramblings of a Mad Hatter, like I told y'all. It's just fun to be this, to talk about it. This is who I am. This is what I am. But yeah, I love y'all.